Welcome to ZoomInData. In this video, we are going to understand dynamic pipelines in Azure Data Factory. This is a critical concept when building scalable enterprise data solutions. Dynamic pipelines help eliminate repetitive pipeline creation and make our solutions flexible and reusable. A dynamic pipeline is a pipeline that adapts at runtime. It uses parameters and dynamic expressions instead of hard-coded values. Because nothing is fixed permanently inside the pipeline, its behavior can change based on input values provided during execution. Dynamic pipelines are needed when we work with multiple source systems. File names and folder paths often change daily. Different environments such as development, testing, and production require different configurations. To support large-scale automation, dynamic design becomes essential. Static pipelines use fixed values inside activities and datasets. Dynamic pipelines, on the other hand, use runtime values. Static design often requires duplication of pipelines. Dynamic pipelines promote reuse and reduce development effort significantly. The core components of dynamic pipelines include pipeline parameters, variables, dynamic expressions, and dataset parameters. All these elements work together to enable runtime flexibility. Parameters accept input values when the pipeline starts. These values are passed during execution. They control source and sink behavior dynamically and significantly improve flexibility. Variables store intermediate values inside a pipeline. They can be modified during execution. They are often used inside loops and help enable dynamic decision-making. Dynamic content expressions are built using the expression builder in ADF. They support string manipulation functions, date functions, and conditional logic. These expressions allow us to build intelligent and adaptive pipelines. In real-world projects, file names often change daily. We can dynamically insert the current date into the file path. This automates ingestion and removes the need for manual updates. Parameterized datasets allow reuse across multiple pipelines. Instead of creating separate datasets for each source, we pass source values dynamically. This reduces duplication significantly. Dynamic linked services support multiple environments. Connection details can change dynamically during deployment. This improves flexibility and is essential for CI/CD integration. For each activity loops through an array of input values. It executes activities dynamically for each item. It also supports parallel execution, making it ideal for bulk processing. Switch and if activities allow conditional branching. Execution happens based on input conditions. This gives dynamic workflow control and reduces the need for multiple pipelines. In real-world projects, one pipeline can process 100 tables. Metadata drives its behavior. Source and sink are dynamic. Orchestration becomes centralized and manageable. Dynamic pipelines provide high scalability. They reduce development effort. Maintenance becomes easier. This design is enterprise-ready and future-proof. Common mistakes include overcomplicating expressions, not validating parameters properly, hard-coding values inside dynamic pipelines, and ignoring error-handling logic. Performance depends on proper parallelism control. Activity timeouts must be configured carefully. Datasets should be reused efficiently. Proper logging must be implemented. Interviewers may ask what a dynamic pipeline is, how it differs from a static pipeline, the role of parameters and variables, and real-world use case examples. You may be asked how to design one pipeline for 50 tables, how to handle dynamic file names, and how to manage environment changes effectively. Dynamic pipelines adapt at runtime. Parameters drive flexibility. Reuse is the core principle. This is an essential enterprise concept in Azure Data Factory. Thank you for watching this session. This is ZoomInData. Subscribe to the channel for complete Azure Data Factory mastery. Let's learn, practice, and master data engineering together.